The main event of UFC 327 just happened, and Carlos Ulberg is the new light heavyweight champion of the world. Jiri, it's tough, man. It really is. It looked like it was going to be the perfect. It was Carlos Ulberg blows his ACL a minute into the fight, and Jiri feels bad for him, and it's unfortunate because that's kind of just what happened. He blows his ACL walking backwards. He falls over. Jiri's kicking his left leg, which was not the one that he blew. It was his right leg, his rear leg that he blew out. And so Jiri's kicking his left leg, and he's saying, okay, let's just stand then. Let's just stand here. And he keeps kicking him, and Ulberg's tagging him. And this whole time, Jiri's just, you can just see it in his eyes, man. He feels bad for him, man. And you can't feel bad for your opponent in a world championship fight. Too nice, man. Too much of a good guy. And Ulberg catches him with the left hook, and he catches him right on the chin. Perfect shot for Ulberg. You can't. Ulberg with an all-timer. And you can't even talk about the fight, which is the most annoying part, because the fight didn't really even happen. We don't know what would happen without the injury. Ulberg catches him with a beautiful left hook. Jiri's standing there in front of him, and you can just see it. He's just like, I don't know what to do. And Ulberg goes, I know what I need to do. I need to KO this guy to win the world championship. And he does that, gives CKB their third champion with a beautiful left hook. A brutal fucking KO, by the way. It has to be mentioned. But Jiri was just standing there. He just didn't expect him to be able to throw, I guess. But he didn't have to put weight on his rear leg. He loaded up the left hook on his front leg and just fucking took Jiri's head off with it, put him down bad, sat him over his knee. Jiri rolls over like the Pereira head kick. Ulberg puts him out brutally. I'm kind of at a loss for words, to be honest. The card was going so well for me, and I thought that all the stars were shining. Ulberg blows his ACL, and I'm thinking, wow, this is such a shit way to end the Jiri character arc of resilience, the comeback. What a terrible way to end it. Ulberg blows his ACL, and now Jiri's just going to petty TKO him. Nope, Ulberg flattens him with a left hook. Brutal left hook. It's not even like the ones Pereira landed, because the ones Pereira landed, it was Jiri coming forward. Jiri was standing flat, which is way harder to catch Jiri. And which, you never want to call a fight a fluke, because a fight happens 1,000 times, and if the guy who blows his ACL out wins the fight, you can't really call that a fluke for the other guy, but you could just see it when it happened. Jiri was like, I don't want to win my belt like this. But now you don't have a belt, Now you've thrown that away. Now you're going to need to get on another 2-win streak. It is disastrous for Jiri. This was the worst possible outcome. Of course, a first-round knockout is always the worst outcome for any fighter. But this was it, man. This was really it. No ACL Ulberg, new mythical fighter. What this means for the division moving forward, I don't know. Stalls the division out for at least probably a year. We probably won't see Ulberg for like a year. I'm not going to comment too much on that, but I'm just going to go off speculation of what I'm thinking. Literally 5 minutes ago, I just watched the fight. I haven't even seen them put the belt around Ulberg. I turned the fight off and instantly just started recording this just to get my full thoughts. A male stripper KO'd Jiri Prochazka in the first round. It's unfortunate. I actually bought a flag. I bought a Czechnian flag. This video was supposed to be a lot different. I am distraught. I don't really know It feels fake. It feels like I'm dreaming. Like, there's no way that card just happened and that fight just went down. Jiri was getting the low kicks for Ulberg early were noticeable for Jiri. Jiri was landing his own low kicks when Ulberg tore his ACL, but we don't really know. It's so unfortunate. I was gonna say it is unfortunate for both guys because now Ulberg's gonna have to miss a year plus, and he's already 35. Yeah, I'm very upset. This is probably the most depressed I've been after a UFC fight since probably Oliveira Makhachev or Volk versus Makhachev 2. Or Ilya versus Makhachev. Or Ilya versus Volkanovski, sorry. Yeah, this is one that's going to take a while to forget about, and kind of, this is one that it'll ruin my next day kind of vibe. Because it was an amazing card. I just felt like this fight was it. I felt like this was the perfect place to fully show off an involved Jiri Prochazka against the Budget Pereira, and Budget Pereira blows his ACL in the first round. Jiri feels bad for him and gets slimed out with a left hook, and there's nothing else to say. Ulberg landed the perfect shot. The left hook was the shot he was going to have to land. He was looking good with the leg kicks early, but this was always a fight where it would be Carlos Ulberg doing the outpacing him, outworking him until Jiri won. But this was Ulberg outdoing him until he tears his ACL and then slimes out Jiri, which is unfortunate. But that's MMA. It was a great card. Big KO for Ulberg. Probably it's, yeah. I mean, dude, maybe Ulberg should just tear his ACL in every fight. Just start laying guys out. I really do think Jiri kind of threw that fight. Of course, I think that everyone's gonna say that this was a choke by Jiri. Great shot for Ulberg. He knew what he needed to do. He knew he couldn't throw off his rear hand, so he plants on that lead foot and rips that left hook and gets it perfectly. But it's really unfortunate for us Jiri fans to digest here, and this is a tough one. This might be the toughest loss I've ever seen one of my favorite fighters go through, to be honest. This is gonna be a short video, by the way. This is just my initial reaction. I'm kind of lost for words, so maybe I shouldn't even have made this video, but I just had to talk about it, and had to videographer keep a little video journal of my initial reactions to this fight. Because I am a massive Jiri Prochazka fan. Jiri Prochazka is my favorite UFC fighter of all time. So this one stings a lot, but I don't think, we've been here before and we'll be back. And I think that's just the end of the day. That's the silver lining. Ulberg, hopefully he doesn't need to be out that long, because if he does need to be out that long, then we have to talk about interim belt. And then we talk about a vacation, which you don't want to see that. You don't want to see a guy get vacated and never have to never get to defend his belt. That's what we saw with Jiri in the first place. I don't think we'll have to vacate. I think we'll probably have to do an interim belt, which sucks, but maybe do Paulo versus someone, because you can't put Jiri right in there for an interim belt. I don't think he's gonna need one more. So maybe you just wait it out and you do Jiri versus someone, and then you just kind of see where Ulberg's at, and if we can do that fight, because I don't even know. I'm gonna quickly look at the rankings really quick, actually. Or what's the rankings looking like? UFC rankings. Just for a next step, because I think Ulberg's gonna be missing at least a year, unfortunately, because it looked pretty nasty. You could see something snap back there. So we got Ankalaev. We don't want him. Wow. Yeah, dude, this division's fucking dead, yo. we're going to have to do some guys coming off of losses. Paulo's going to get an interim belt shot if they make an interim belt for sure, because he'll probably come into like 5. Paulo versus Ank or something. Paulo versus, maybe do Jiri Ankalaev, and then try to just do that. Don't make an interim. Just do that. Winner gets Ulberg, come back. Maybe this will all work out well, but this division is so dead. You got no one coming off a win. I mean, Ankalaev coming off a loss. Yuri's coming off a loss. Ulberg's the champ. Roundtree's coming off of 2 brutal KOs. Or no, he's coming off of 1 brutal KO. But, coming off a loss. Jans hasn't won a fight in like 5 years. Azim Murzakanov just got smoked by Paulo Costa. Jamal Hill hasn't won a fight since I can't even remember. Bogdan Guskov is rebooked with Blachowicz, so maybe if he wins. But I don't think he's gonna. And then we do Jan? Maybe Jan gets another crack at the belt. He did have a close fight with Ulberg. I don't know. This is going to be a tricky one to figure out, man. Interesting time at light heavyweight for sure. It is wide open for someone to take the reins here. So we'll see. Hopefully Ulberg can get back like a 6-month kind of thing, 9-month thing. And he only has to take we can see him back in next March or next January. Hopefully he can get in there, something like that. Maybe December. I doubt it. But hopefully it's not something where we have to wait longer than a year, because that would be really unfortunate. But maybe it wouldn't be. We gotta have some time to. These light heavyweights gotta get some fights booked, man, because everyone's coming off a loss. So you're in this top 8 and you get a big win. Like Guskov could be that guy fighting for an interim belt against Paulo Costa. Because I think Paulo's gonna have to. I think they're gonna have to stick with Paulo at light heavyweight, because you kind of have to put Paulo at heavyweight or light heavyweight at this point, because he just smoked out Murzakanov, a big contender. So maybe do Paulo. I don't know, man. I don't know what you do with his division. I don't know. Maybe you do Paulo Ankalaev. Hope Paulo wins and he can get a title shot. But unfortunate for Jiri. Ulberg, male stripper to UFC champion. Feel good story. Good for Ulberg though. Like you can't hate on Ulberg at all for this. This is one of the most badass performances maybe ever for Carlos Ulberg in a light heavyweight championship fight with the consensus best light heavyweight on the planet since Pereira's moving up, in Jiri Prochazka, and you tear your ACL or you blow up your knee within the first 3 minutes of the fight, and then you brutally KO that guy. That's some aura right there. That's some good shit, but unfortunate. See you guys, this is Spot MMA. It's my initial reaction. I'm going to have a full card prediction out soon, so keep up for that. See you guys. Like and subscribe, please.